Here you can see a couple of round coffee tables that I'm making. My hand spread's about 10 inches from thumb to pinky. So you can kind of get an idea of the dimension of these nice big round pieces. This is a piece of blue spalted pecan. This one actually, the other side is going to be the top, and I put Gorilla Tape on the top, and then I poured in the colored epoxy. I wanted a blue, a cobalt blue, so I poured in a layer of that, and then I poured in, since then I've just been pouring layers of clear. I'm not going to pour it more than about a quarter or maybe a ½ inch thick in these cracks. Maybe it's at most an inch wide there. If it's an inch wide and I pour it ½ inch deep, I run the risk that the epoxy is going to start to bake in there, which is where it turns all foamy and it turns into a big goopy mess that eventually hardens and looks horrible and is really difficult to remove or fix. So I'm pouring a little bit at a time, and for some different reasons I will sometimes put the tape on the top and then pour epoxy down into the tape. I'm just putting clear to finish filling up this void so that this piece will be stabilized. That way you know, the cracks won't continue to extend and it won't fall apart on somebody later. And then, so this piece is blue spalted pecan, and this piece is cypress. The cypress will really soak up a lot of epoxy, so I usually seal it on both sides first before I fill cracks and voids with colored mica powder, because if I don't seal it first, then where anything goops over or just soaking into the sides, the color soaks in and then you can't really sand it off. You continue to get a stain in the wood where it soaks in. It just doesn't look very good. So I seal both sides first. This one I'm actually pouring, this is the top. I taped the bottom. I'm gonna pour up to the top level here, and so I've probably made about 4 or 5 different pours in here. And for these smaller cracks, I use a little, like an eyedropper. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll get a little bit more where it's not quite even. I want to go ahead and fill that up either with a green or with a clear, so that when I pour the whole top, I don't end up with a dip in my surface, because the epoxy is going to be very glassy and any tiniest little imperfection is going to show up. So what I'll do is I'll let this cure for a while. It's supposed to be cured and ready to sand in like 24 hours. I usually try to give it at least 36, just in case it's not really quite ready, because if you sand it and it hasn't completely hardened, then it kind of it rolls around and gets kind of smeary, and it's not gonna disappear as much. It's you're gonna maybe end up with a little bit of texture showing through the clear epoxy when you pour the whole top and do the finish coat. So I like to let it cure for at least a few days. And that goes for all my tabletops too. I like to let them sit for several days, or even a week or two, before I really even start to handle them or put my hands on them. Because sometimes it's been like a day later and I thought it was cured, and I picked up the tabletop and moved it somewhere, and then I looked at it later and oh, there's some handprints that I can lightly see from just the right angle that don't really want to come out. So that's not good. So yeah, I'll pour this even. I'll let this set for a few days. Then I'm gonna sand all of this off and sand it down. And then we'll be back with a little video clip to show you what it looks like once I've gotten it sanded and I've poured the top. I think these are gonna be absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to see them, and I can't wait to show them to you.